Which one's the entirety? 8?
Call our meeting to order. Excuse me, can we call the meeting to order? Thank you. All right, so tonight is September the 7th, 6 p.m. We're at City Council budget meeting, and we're in Public Works, and we're going to call the roll.
Mayor Miller,
Here.
Mr. Smith,
Here.
Ms. Hamilton is absent tonight. Mr. Welly,
Here.
Mr. Wolf.
Here.
Okay, so the first thing on the agenda is adoption of our 2023 tentative millage rate, resolution 2306. Do we have a motion to read resolution 23-06?
I'll make a motion to read resolution 23-06 by title only.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Tammy, would you read resolution 23-06 by title only? Oh,
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry.
Tonight for the budget, we just need to vote. After the motion to read and then the second, we need to make sure that there's a vote of the council before the actual reading takes place, a full vote of the council.
Okay. I thought we read first and then.
I spoke to Clint earlier today and he said procedurally that we need to have a motion, a second, a full vote, and then to read the
A
council.
full vote, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Should we
Sir.
should we talk about maybe raising that rate?
If there's concerns that there may not, at 5.8 mils wouldn't be enough.
I have concerns in that there's a lawsuit going on and there's some money that needs to be put in there. So I believe that we should put that money in. I think we should raise it to the agreed starting point, which was 599, which would put us at about $147,000 ahead.
Let's see.
Well, if we want to cut our budget, there's a couple places I can see that we could cut this budget and keep it at the current 5.8, excuse me, is under our developmental services, where we have the salary of the assistant city administrator, which we don't have now, and personally, I have not seen the necessity of having an assistant administrator. This could be somewhere we could save some money.
I'm sure that's an area we can talk about, Mayor, but right now, I think the budget, we pretty much discussed the budget up to this point, and we were pretty much prepared to come in with a 5.8. But there is ability to move it to 5.9 and put $147,000 up. I think that's the right way to go.
We have to specify where we're putting this money, so we'd have to go back to the drawing board to see where we want to put this money. Has to be delegated to a certain fund.
Okay.
We can't just.
The concern is the lawsuit, and you could, as part of the motion, you could put that in the legal fees, legal services.
Not necessarily towards Clint or anything like that. Yeah, that's fine. I'll make a motion to go ahead and move it to 599 and put it in the legal fees.
599.
I have a question.
I think we need to probably adjourn this meeting. Let me tell you why. Because we don't have legal counsel here. And we're wanting to make some very big changes. And if we continue with reading the resolutions, that's our first reading. It'd have to be whatever we've got right here in the first reading. Otherwise, we can't read this for the first reading.
I just don't think it's
That'll bring us
fair
back
to
to
the
the
citizens to not take care of it when we know that there's going to be a cost. It's not fair to the citizens not to take care of that. But if you want to adjourn,
the budget schedule's pretty difficult to adjourn. I mean, if we adjourn this meeting and without doing the first readings tonight, then it could potentially throw off our entire budget, and then we wouldn't be able to adopt the budget on time. So, you know, my recommendation is this meeting needs to go forward one way or the other so that we ensure we've got a budget for next year.
But we can't change what you have here if we're doing the reading.
Well, when the city council set the budget at 5.99 previously, it gives us the ability to go to that. Now, while everything is 5.8, I can do the recalculations here to show what, you know, because the only ordinance that has to be read in its entirety is 812, so that's the only one that would need to be amended. I can do that here on the fly.
Well, every ordinance and resolution, or every resolution here will require 2 readings. And if we make changes to it, we can't do a first and a second reading on it.
On the ordinances,
Yeah.
Well, tonight's the first reading, so
we'd have to change it.
They were
before
saying
we-
we're accepting this first reading, we can't do that if we have changes we want to make. And we can adjourn, we can reschedule to another day. We can discuss this, exactly what we want. Then you could go back and make those changes, and we can adjourn and come back on another day to actually have the readings.
I have a logistical question, and I don't know if you're gonna know the answer, but this was in the trim notice that was mailed to every homeowner this date. If we reschedule this meeting, do we have to mail a letter to all homeowners?
I would think you would to notify them. I'd have to confirm that, but
And then my other question is, in the budget, did we budget the full amount at 5.8 or 95%? Because there's probably some cushion there, because we traditionally budget at 95%.
95.
It is 95, so what is 100? I don't have that number. Is that 50,000?
I think it's more than that.
At 5.99, the full ad valorem revenue would be $3,865,521.
About 5%, we're looking at about 150,000.
That's close to right.
Ponies, how much?
64,000.
Can our budget as written absorb potential legal fees at 5.8?
Depends on the amount of legal fees and how far this draws out. I mean, there's no way of knowing that for sure. I mean, obviously, the city has money in reserves. The city has, the city has money for projects in this coming year's, you know, fiscal year budget that we could just not do if legal fees get high. You know, there's other ways of paying for this, but again, there's no way of being able to foretell the legal fees and what they would be for this next year.
The benefit we have is we've already went with the 599. So,
That's what's advertised.
yeah, so it's easy, that's what's advertised, so it's easy to adopt.
Well, we can't adopt this resolution without the way it's written. When you write a resolution, that becomes law, and you've got to have the resolution prepared, exactly what your law is going to be.
Can we write it in?
Well, I can make the changes now, and then when the city clerk reads the resolution, if she reads the changes as I make them here now, then we can make the actual corrections tomorrow, and then once it's signed by the mayor, they would take effect.
So we would have to agree, we'd have to vote, basically, to agree to change this resolution. Your motion needs to say with the changes in it.
So it'd be a motion to adopt with a change to,
599.
okay.
I don't see the necessity when we do have some areas that we can definitely cut, which I was going to bring to the table anyway, about the developmental service, which is, you add all those in, it's probably close to $90,000 with all that. Then our estimate on the professional services at $122,250 is really an estimate, because that is, what's that company called that we do those professional services with? Not PCDC.
The planning collaborative?
Planning collaboration, yeah. So that's an estimate. That whole line is over $231,000.
We make a motion to accept the resolutions and the ordinances at 599.
That was a change, and that's all we had to say.
You may want to add in there,
Yeah.
Mr. Wolf, for the increase to be placed in the legal professional services.
Make a motion, we move the millage rate to 599 and allow us to take that additional money and move it into lawyer legal fees.
I second.
Tammy, call the roll.
Mayor Miller,
No.
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Welly,
Yeah.
Mr.
Yes.
Mr. Wolf.
Yes.
So that modifies 2306 and 812.
I really think with these kind of modifications that we're going to have to go back and reschedule. But it will be impacting every resolution, including our budget.
So this one is going to change to 5.9. Okay, now I've got to roll that one. I have to do that. So that's 812. I roll that rate. 15%. That doesn't change.
Got it?
Okay. Ready?
So do we need a new motion to read? Yes?
Yes, we have to have a motion.
Ready?
Motion to read Resolution 2306 by title only.
With the changes.
With the change.
Okay, resolution 23-06. A resolution of the City Council of the City of Mexico Beach, Florida, authorizing the adoption of the tentative millage rate for the tax year 2023 to 2024, levying an ad valorem tax of 5.99 mills, 5.99 per $1,000 valuation on all real and personal property within said city, which is not exempt under law for the purpose of providing funds for the ordinary and regular requirements of the City of Mexico Beach for the fiscal year 2023 to 2024, providing an effective date.
Okay. Public discussion.
Yeah, did you just raise our taxes?
We gotta cover the legal fees somehow.
Or
For what?
we could release the, we
Okay.
could release
I'm gonna
the,
have to call you out to order, please. Yes, ma'am, state your name and your address, please.
Julie Gardner, 111 20th Street. So is this gonna cover both sides of these legal fees? Since you're suing the city for your
Ma'am, we
side?
can't not discuss this in this public meeting.
But this
As far
is
as
why
legal
our
fees.
taxes just got raised.
No,
It's
ma'am,
because of
that's
the lawsuit that was
because
filed
he decided he wanted to change it.
to cover the legal fees of the lawsuit against the city. That's why the taxes just got raised.
Any day we sit at this table, there could be lawsuits come to us.
But not
The
because
city.
they're self-inflicted. This is a
Exactly.
self-inflicted
Should not be
lawsuit.
self-inflicted.
So let me ask you this question. So if our insurance doesn't cover the lawsuit, because it is a self-inflicted lawsuit, this is basically the city suing the city, then what happens?
Okay,
Where does that money come
Why
from?
don't you talk to an attorney then?
I'm asking you, you filed a lawsuit
Yes, ma'am, and I cannot discuss that with you.
due to pending litigation.
Would you like to have a seat?
No, I need
Or do you
answers.
have another
Can somebody at the
question?
table answer? Adrian, can you tell me what happens?
No idea.
Jerry, can you tell me?
I piss up now. Nobody knows, I can tell you that.
Rich, you know?
No, ma'am.
Chris?
I have thoughts, but no, I can't give you a definitive answer.
So nobody that is involved in this lawsuit can tell any citizen in this town what happens if the insurance company declines to pay this. If she's awarded $100,000 plus, as the lawsuit states, nobody can tell us where that money will go or come from?
If the insurance declines to pay, then obviously there's only one other liable party, and that would be the city.
See,
Okay. So we've got to hire an attorney for this suit, is that correct?
Well, before we go any further, we haven't been officially served yet, so, and those decisions will be made once we do get served.
Okay. Well, I guess we'll talk about it at the next meeting.
Carol Bonanno for a True Life Siesta. You better have a lot more than $150,000 for those legal fees. Because you're fixing to have $451,000 coming at you. I'm about to lose the sale of my house based on the actions of one person. Now, if I have to sue the whole council, I will. If I can sue one person, all the better. But you're costing me money now with all this foolishness.
Yes, ma'am, I agree with you. It's been foolishness from the time they started.
You're the one I'm gonna sue.
Go for it, Ms. Clifton.
Lance Slimko, 522 Maryland, I've got an idea. Why don't you just provide Mayor Miller with the books and the invoices and the access to the financial data so that she can actually fulfill her roles as mayor? How about that?
If I can address that, she has full
Okay.
access and
Okay,
has had.
no. Okay, sir, I'm sorry, I'm gonna have to call this to order. We cannot be discussing this at our budget meeting, okay? This is something that needs to be discussed with attorneys, not at a budget meeting. So we're gonna have to call that a done day on that subject. We need to focus on what we have before us today. So, does anyone have any comments they would like to make pertaining to our budget?
I sure do.
Yes, sir, step up.
My name is John Harrell. I live at 43 First Street. I hear people saying you're raising our taxes, but actually, you're reducing our taxes. Our millage rate right now is at 6.5. You're going down to 5.99. Everybody calm down. We're still reducing the taxes. We're not raising the taxes. Okay? Y'all have a good night.
Anyone else? Public comment regarding our budget? All right. And I do want to say that I'm not 100% sure, because we do not have our legal counsel here tonight, that we can make this type of change at the table with a resolution. So I think we need to make sure that we check on that to make sure we're in contact with that. This may have to actually come back to the table. So hopefully that won't slow things down. Okay.
Ready for a motion to
Motion
adopt?
to adopt, sir.
I'll make a motion to adopt resolution 23-06.
I'll second.
Tammy?
Mayor Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Smith,
yes.
Mr. Rowley,
Yes.
Mr. Wolf.
Yes.
Okay, so we're moving on to our second agenda item, the adoption of the tentative budget for resolution 23-7. Do I have a motion to read the resolution 23-7 by title only?
Adrian, you do a good job.
Make a motion to adopt the fiscal
Yes, sir.
24 tentative budget. 2307.
I second.
Tammy?
Resolution 23-06.
That's okay.
Mayor Miller,
Yes,
Mr. Smith,
Yes.
Mr. Willie,
Yes.
Mr. Wolf.
Yes.
okay. Now you can read the title only.
Okay. Resolution 23-07. A resolution of the City Council of the City of Mexico Beach, Florida, authorizing the appropriation of funds and adoption of the tentative budget for the tax year 2023 to 2024 for the purpose of providing funds for the ordinary and regular requirements of the City of Mexico Beach for the fiscal year 2023 to 2024, providing an effective date.
Okay, public discussion? Closing public. Want a motion to adopt resolution 23.7, -07.
Motion to adopt resolution 2307.
Second.
Mr. Wolf,
Yes.
Mr. Welly,
Yes.
Mayor Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Smith.
Yes.
All right, moving to the third item on our agenda, ordinance 812, final millage rate, first reading in full. We need motion to read by ordinance 812 by title only, but it isn't by title only, it's in full, sorry,
In its entirety.
in its entirety, yeah.
I'll make a motion to read ordinance 812 in its entirety.
Yeah.
Second.
Okay, you hear me?
Mayor Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Smith.
Yes.
Mr. Welly.
Yes.
Mr. Wolf.
Yes.
Read. Ordinance.
Ordinance 812. An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Mexico Beach, Florida, authorizing the adoption of the millage rate for the tax year 2023 to 2024, levying an ad valorem tax of 5.99 mils per 5.99 per 1,000 valuation on all real and personal property within said city, which is not exempt under law for the purpose of providing funds for the ordinary and regular requirements of the City of Mexico Beach for the fiscal year 2023 to 2024, providing an effective date. Be it ordained by the City Council of the City of Mexico Beach, Florida, the city as follows. Whereas the city has levied and assessed upon all real property and personal property within the corporate limits of the City of Mexico Beach, Florida, not exempt from the taxation by the Constitution and laws of the state of Florida, an ad valorem tax for the fiscal year 2023 to 2024 of 5.99 mils upon the dollar of assessed valuation for the purpose of providing funds for the ordinary and regular purposes of the City of Mexico Beach, Florida, for the fiscal year 2023 to 2024, said valuation to be based upon the assessment roll of Bay County, Florida. Whereas the final millage rate of 5.99 mils is 13% more than the rollback rate of 5.296 mils. Whereas this ordinance shall take effect immediately upon its adoption. Introduced at a special meeting of the City Council on the 7th day of September 2023.
We need the motion to adopt this?
No, first,
No?
first
reading,
reading,
we
yeah.
don't? Okay, very good. Thank you. Okay, moving on to ordinance 813, final budget, first reading. I have a motion for reading the ordinance 813 by title only.
Make a motion, first reading of ordinance 813, general budget fiscal year 24.
I'll second.
Tammy? Call the roll.
Mayor Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Smith.
Yes.
Mr. Welly.
Yes.
Mr. Wolf.
Yes.
Ordinance 813. An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Mexico Beach, Florida, authorizing the appropriation of funds and the adoption of the budget for the tax year 2023 to 2024 for the purpose of providing funds for the ordinary and regular requirements of the City of Mexico Beach for the fiscal year 2023 to 2024, providing an effective date.
Okay. Next on the agenda is ordinance 814, sewer fund budget, first reading. Do I have a motion for the first reading of 814 by title only?
I'll make a motion to read ordinance 814 by title only.
Second that?
Tammy Caldrow?
Mayor Miller,
Yes.
Mr. Smith.
Yes.
Mr. Welly.
Yes.
Mr. Wolf?
Yes.
Ordinance 814. An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Mexico Beach, Florida, authorizing the appropriation of funds and adoption of the budget for the fiscal year 2023 to 2024 for the purpose of providing funds for the sewer fund, providing an effective date.
Okay. Next on the agenda is ordinance 815, water fund budget, first reading.
First, reading on ordinance 815, water fund, fiscal 24.
By title only.
By title only.
Second.
Tammy, call the roll.
Mr. Wolf?
Yes.
Mr. Welly?
Yes.
Mayor Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Read the order.
Ordinance 815. An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Mexico Beach, Florida, authorizing the appropriation of funds and adoption of the budget for the fiscal year 2023 to 2024 for the purpose of providing funds for the water fund, providing an effective date.
Okay. Ordinance 816, sanitation fund budget, first reading. Motion to read ordinance 816 by title only.
I'll make a motion to read ordinance 816 by title only.
Second.
Tammy, call the roll.
Mayor Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Welly?
Yes.
Mr. Wolf?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Ordinance 816. An ordinance of the City Council of the City of Mexico Beach, Florida, authorizing the appropriation of funds and adoption of the budget for the fiscal year 2023 to 2024 for the purpose of providing funds for the sanitation fund, providing an effective date.
Okay. Do I have a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
Everyone, does she have call? You want to call for adjourn, closing public hearing? Call the roll.
Call roll.
Yeah.
Mayor Miller?
Yes.
Mr. Smith?
Yes.
Mr. Welly?
Yes.
Mr. Wolf?
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
I will make a motion to adjourn, but please come to music in the park that's happening now.
I agree.
You got 30 minutes.
So adjourned. Y'all have a good night.